Hi there, I'm David Hunt, owner of GameMasters Guild, and today we're going to take a look at a new playmat that just came out for your next Dungeons & Dragons game, or any role-playing game for that matter. And this one is by Monster, and it's supposedly scary good. It's the dual-sided reversible terrain map, but it's made out of silicone, and it's wet erasable. So, let's check it out. Okay, so here we are. We're going to check out this cool new Monster Scary Good dual-sided terrain mat. Now let's take a look at this. Now this is a silicone mat, which is different. I have not seen a mat made out of silicone before. Not for Dungeons & Dragons anyways. It is double-sided, and it's got hexes on one side, 1-inch hexes on one side. It's got 1-inch squares on the other. So, and it's exactly what it says. And I think what's nice about the silicone is it stays on the table better than perhaps the vinyl, because the way the vinyl maps are backed, they slide a little more. It's not terrible, and I've used mine for years and never had any trouble. Just like the Pathfinder mats, the flip mats, you fold them open, and there's no reason for them to be, there's no reason for them to not slide around. And I mean, they certainly will, but I don't know, most games, I don't really seem to have a problem with any of the other mats sliding around. However, this thing stays. And that's actually a bonus, because maps do sometimes slide around. It just happens. And with this kind of thing, it's not a problem at all. And I really, really like it. It is, I'm trying to see the dimensions on it. Overall, it looks like it's probably, oh wait, I got a ruler, kind of. Oh, wait a minute. 1-inch hexes, 1-inch squares. I'll just count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's a foot. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So 19 inches this way, 19 inches that way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Yep. So about a foot and a half, this is still quite a bit of play area, actually. If you haven't played Dungeons & Dragons before, of course, the bigger map, the better. But honestly, most real important conflicts you can do right here. If you got to run off the board, not a big deal. However, we're not talking about that now. We're talking about the mat itself. I do like the silicone because it sticks. Doesn't matter what side you're using. Plus, what I think's interesting about it is the way the silicone is. You can roll it, you can fold it, and you can really, I don't think you're really going to have any trouble transporting this thing. You could just stow it in your bag real quick and pull it out, and it's not going to have a lot of creases on it, or any creases. This is a pretty neat idea to do for a map. I would actually like to see a bigger version of this. I think that'd be a good idea. Now, it says it's wet erase, so let's take a look. Let's grab red. Okay, so here's the wet erase marker. This is what I'm talking about right here. So I draw on it, and it definitely starts to, it's bold at first, and then it kind of, because the silicone wants to repel it, it definitely, it does kind of smudge, although I'm probably not giving it enough time. Let me just, let me mark it with that, and we'll kind of see what happens. Now let's go ahead, and while I'm thinking about it, because it does say it's not supposed to smudge. I'm going to let those lines sit for a second, and then I'm going to take this dry erase marker here, this green dry erase marker, and I'm going to put it right here, and we'll put a couple things here, and we'll kind of see what happens with that dry erase, because it is exclusively wet erase. And because I think I'm not going to have any problem with the dry erase, I think I'm going to be okay. But in this corner way down here, just in case, I'm actually going to put a permanent marker mark on this map, and I'm going to see if I can get it off. Okay, so we've let this sit for a second. Now I touched these two red spots almost right away after putting them down, so it smudged a little bit. And now I touch them now. They seem to be pretty good. Let's touch this one. Oh yeah, if you let it sit for just a second, no smudge. The dry erase, no smudge. This permanent marker, oh, definitely not going to smudge there. All right, so let's see if we can clean these up. A little water on the wet erase. Definitely going to clean it right up. Pretty easy. Oh, and look, the dry erase comes right up. Sometimes with dry erase, you have to put the wet erase over it and go over it, or maybe you have to put a little bit of like hand sanitizer or alcohol on it. That's not too bad. Now let's take a look at our permanent marker. Let's see if we can put a little water on it. See what happens. See if we can get that up with this. Oh, look at that. Hey, permanent marker. That is just water that I'm using on this. Wow, that's pretty nice. Oh, yeah. No, that's cool. Boy, that came up pretty nice. You can just barely tell there's just a little bit of something there. But if I put some more water on it, I bet it's going to disappear. Yeah. Hey, I like that. Wow. So not only does wet erase work on it, dry erase works on it, and permanent marker works on it. And the permanent marker, I cleaned up with water. That's amazing. Because normally when you use permanent marker to put on a map, you got to use hand sanitizer or alcohol or something to get it up. Or go back over it with dry erase or wet erase and then keep trying to take it up. But this came off like nobody's business with water. This permanent marker, I did draw a little bit of git on it. Bloop. So, now true, that Sharpie that I put on there earlier, I cleaned it right up almost immediately after I put the mark on there. So, I don't know, like if I left this over the weekend, how that would be, how that permanent marker would be. But honestly, I think it's going to be pretty easy to clean up. I mean, it doesn't smudge. As soon as I put it on, it doesn't smudge. And even look, with my finger, this is cool. This is seriously cool. With my finger on that permanent marker, I just rub off that silicone. That's cool. I tell you, that's pretty neat. And we'll put some water on that. Nice healthy dose of water. And nope, it's coming off. It doesn't want to come off as easily. Oh man, yeah, you can definitely tell. It doesn't want to come up quite as easily as the wet erase or dry erase. So on my one little mark, came up pretty quick. I didn't leave it very long. This I left just a few seconds longer, and it's definitely a little more permanent. But honestly, it cleans up really good. And yep, you can still see it there. Oh, you can still see my smiley face. But that is actually not a deal breaker. It just means this cleans up pretty easy. And I got some alcohol here, some hand sanitizer. I don't think this shouldn't harm or ruin the silicone at all. I don't see why it would. And it's not going to be on there for that long anyways, so I can't imagine it being too harsh. When it's not on for that long, it's not going to bother it. Just like your vinyl mats. And I'm really lathering it on here to kind of get that little bit extra. And I can definitely tell it's working. And I don't see it hurting any of the lines or anything. So that's pretty good. I like that. Let's wipe this off. Oh, yeah. And you can still see, granted, you can still see the little face I drew. Just barely. But it's not bad. And quite frankly, I think with more work, it'll come right up. Matter of fact, let me show this to you real quick just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So there's the smiley face I drew with my little antenna, and you can still see it's just barely visible on this side of the mat. But that's really not that bad because I've accidentally used permanent marker on my vinyl mats, and I've had to get that stuff off, and it's not too bad at all. Okay, so that's pretty much all I got for this. I really like this, the Monster brand mat. Now, by comparison, the Chessex play mat that's equivalent to this is $22.99, and it's just a little bit bigger, whereas this one is $29.99, and it's just a little bit smaller. Yeah, probably by about 6 inches on one side and 8 inches on another. It's not too much of a difference. It's not enough to be a deal breaker. I like how, it doesn't matter how you fold it and wad it up, and, you can really do whatever you want with it. And it just kind of springs into shape. It's ready to go. And to me, the bonus is how it really sticks on your table, which is really nice. It doesn't move. And it responds well to all the different types of markers. So I'm pretty impressed. I like it. Slightly higher price point, but not a deal breaker. Well, I think that's it. Okay, so that's my look at Monster's new silicone playmat for Dungeons & Dragons, or quite frankly, any role-playing game you happen to enjoy. If you get a chance, go down to your local FLGS and check this great playmat out. If I'm your local FLGS, come on down. I'll open it up, roll it out, let you see for yourself how good of a playmat this thing actually is. And I guess that's going to be all for now. As always, thank you very much for watching. Please be sure to share, like, and subscribe because it helps. And I'm Dave Hunt saying, stay safe, play great games, and I'll see you real soon.